This is really, truly amazing to me, and again, like I said, I'm very, very honored to be here. And I hope that today, after I tell my story, that you'll walk away with a couple nuggets, maybe. Hopefully you won't walk away and say, oh man, that was an hour of my life I'll never get back. Hopefully it will be something that you enjoyed. And there's a couple things I hope that you will look back and say, you know what, if she can do this, anybody can do this. And I hope that you'll also see that it's all about taking advantage of opportunities, weighing the risks, but really kind of putting those risks aside and saying, you know, the time is now. And use the word, why not? You know, a lot of people, when you look at opportunities or things that present themselves, you know, the first thing you say is why. Well, I encourage you to say why not, and then don't give yourself time to talk yourself out of it. Very quickly, why not, and then move right into it. So I was moving on to my next career change. And at that point, I had already met my husband. We had met during flight school. He's a former F-14, F-18 driver. And we had met, and I was kind of, you know, following him around a little bit at this point. Once I got out, I'd become a Navy wife. And one of the challenges with being a Navy wife, especially, you know, if you're educated and you have a career, is you keep being moved from place to place, and it's hard to find another job, or you're not able to really do the things that you want to do. So I was following John around at that time and trying to figure out, you know, what am I going to do? How's this work? And at one point, a friend of mine said to me, you know what, you ought to incorporate. Another why not moment. You should just incorporate. You never know what might happen. So I thought, okay, that's cool. Back in the day, independent consultants were making pretty good money. And so it was, you know, it wasn't too risky. And I knew I could always fall back and find another job. So I went ahead and incorporated. And within 3 or 4 months after incorporating, my husband got transferred again. They closed the base where he was. He got transferred again, and I followed him. And at that point, I really kind of had to decide, am I going to do this? Am I going to try to find another job, or am I actually going to try to make this work? And so I made it work. So I had started this idea of, okay, I'm going to have a real company. Now I had to figure out, how was I going to do all the company stuff? I taught myself pretty much everything. You know, I went to the library all the time. I bought books on taxes. I bought books on small business and government contracting, just trying to learn as you go. And one of the first things I did is when I started to make this into a real company was I hired my mother. And I hired my mother to do the books. At the time, she was 70 years old. Now, a lot of you who are in business, you may hear some of those sayings, you know, never hire family and friends. Well, I hired family and friends. I've pretty much done everything you're not supposed to do when it comes to business, so somehow it's still working. But I hired my mother. Today, she's 81, and she's still working for the company. And one of the smartest women I've met. She has a master's degree in mathematics and education, so for someone who's 81, you can see she was kind of a trailblazer when it comes to women or doing things different out of the box. So I hired her. I hired my sister. I hired my cousin. We're from Central Illinois, so I actually hired people that I found out later were related to me, which was kind of creepy in a way, but it still worked out. So I had all this family and friends that were working for me, and it worked out well. This led into also core values. As entrepreneurs, you're told business plans, you're told mission statement, vision statement. Those are important. In the early days, though, I didn't have time. I was just trying to, day by day, figure out how I'm going to make money and how the next day is going to progress. So I didn't worry as much about the mission and vision. But I did think core values were important. Family, integrity, loyalty, passion, in that exact same order. When you start to grow, there is a tendency to lose that, to lose sight of what it was that was important to you in the early days. And I thought by having those core values on my tagline in front of me every single day, hopefully that is going to remind me what's important. And even as we grow, and hopefully to 500, 1,000, whatever happens in the future, that we're going to have that same caring and that same culture that we had when we were just one. Truly, I am an accidental entrepreneur. I never intended on doing any of this, but I've learned a lot along the way. And hopefully, out of that, out of my story, all of you can kind of take something from it and also make yourself successful. And I wish you absolutely the best of luck. I think you've got a great base here at BCC. You have an advantage that I didn't have and many don't have, and it's an amazing program. And I'm honored, again, to be able to have stood here in front of you and told you my story. So thank you very much.